sorry, that flight's been canceled.
Wait to see Santa is 2 hours.
Take a break from holiday stress with Prime Video. Unwrap your next watch, from classics to new releases. Prime Video. It's giving holiday harmony.
The clock's running out on December deal drops at Lowe's, but there's still time to wrap up something they'll love. Shop great gifts under $50, like the DeWalt Elite Series 100-piece bit set. Plus, if you order by 2 p.m., you get same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop December deal drops while you can. Lowe's. We help, you save.
This is Optimal Work Daily. Good products start with good questions, by Jake Knapp with nearandfar.com. Monday of the sprint week begins with an exercise we call Start at the End. It's a look ahead to the end of the sprint and beyond. You and your team will lay out the basics, your long-term goal, and the difficult questions that must be answered to get there. When a big problem comes along, it's natural to want to solve it right away. In your 5-day sprint, the clock is ticking, the team is amped up, and solutions start popping into everyone's mind. But if you don't first slow down, share what you know, and prioritize, you could end up wasting time and effort on the wrong part of the problem. Starting at the end is like being handed the keys to a time machine. If you could jump ahead to the end of your sprint, what questions would be answered? If you went 6 months or a year further into the future, what would have improved about your business as a result of this project? Even when the future seems obvious, it's worth taking the time to make it specific and write it down. You'll start with the project's long-term goal. To start the conversation, ask your team these questions. Why are we doing this project? Where do we want to be in 6 months, a year, or even 5 years from now? The discussion could take anywhere from 30 seconds to 30 minutes. If your team doesn't quite agree about the goal or there's any lack of clarity, don't be embarrassed, but do have a discussion and figure it out. Slowing down might be frustrating for a moment, but the satisfaction and confidence of a clear goal will last all week. Your goal should reflect your team's principles and aspirations. Don't worry about overreaching. The sprint process will help you find a good place to start and make real progress toward even the biggest goal. Once you've settled on a long-term goal, write it at the top of the whiteboard. It'll stay there throughout the sprint as a beacon to keep everyone moving in the same direction. Okay, time for an attitude adjustment. While writing your long-term goal, you were optimistic. You imagined a perfect future. Now it's time to get pessimistic. Imagine you've gone forward in time 1 year and your project was a disaster. What caused it to fail? How did your goal go wrong? Lurking beneath every goal are dangerous assumptions. The longer those assumptions remain unexamined, the greater the risk. In your sprint, you have a golden opportunity to ferret out assumptions, turn them into questions, and find some answers. Just like the goal, these questions guide the solutions and decisions throughout the sprint. They provide a quasi-checklist that you can refer to throughout the week and evaluate after Friday's test. List sprint questions. You'll list out your sprint questions on a second whiteboard. We have a few prompts for getting teams to think about assumptions and questions. What questions do we want to answer in this sprint? To meet our long-term goal, what has to be true? And imagine we travel into the future and our project failed. What might have caused that? An important part of this exercise is rephrasing assumptions and obstacles into questions. When Blue Bottle Coffee ran a sprint to build an online store, they assumed they could find a way to convey their coffee expertise to new customers. But before the sprint, they weren't sure how. It's not difficult to find an assumption such as blue bottles and turn it into a question. Question. To reach new customers, what has to be true? Answer. They have to trust our expertise. Question. How can we phrase that as a question? Answer. Will customers trust our expertise? This rephrasing conversation might feel a little weird. Normal people don't have conversations like this one unless they're Jeopardy contestants. But turning these potential problems into questions makes them easier to track and easier to answer with sketches, prototypes, and tests. It also creates a subtle shift from uncertainty, which is uncomfortable, to curiosity, which is exciting. You might end up with only 1 or 2 sprint questions, and that's fine. You might come up with a dozen or more, also just fine. If you do end up with a long list, don't worry about deciding which questions are most important. You'll do that at the end of the day on Monday when you pick a target for the sprint. By starting at the end with these questions, you'll face your fears. Big questions and unknowns can be discomforting, but you'll feel relieved to see them all listed in one place. You'll know where you're headed and what you're up against. You just listened to the post titled, Good Products Start with Good Questions by Jake Knapp with nearandfar.com.
The holidays always remind me of the year I was scrambling for the perfect gift and ended up discovering how effortless great hosting and great gifting can be. From unforgettable presents to stress-free entertaining, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. I love gifting Omaha Steaks because the quality is unbeatable. USDA certified tender steaks, premium proteins, elegant sides, and indulgent desserts. Every box I've ordered has arrived perfectly packed, and everyone I've gifted it to has raved about the flavor and variety. With 5 generations of expertise, Omaha Steaks makes holiday magic easy, delicious, and guaranteed. Save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com. And for an extra $35 off, use code FLAVOR at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code FLAVOR.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
And thank you to Jake, who is a guest writer on Near and Far, and of course thanks to Nir, who runs the site. His name and site are spelled N-I-R. Nir previously taught as a lecturer in marketing at the Stanford Graduate School of Business and the Hasso-Plattner Institute of Design at Stanford. He currently writes, consults, and teaches about the intersection of psychology, technology, and business, or as Nir refers to it, behavioral design. Since 2003, Nir has co-founded and sold 2 tech companies and was dubbed by the MIT Technology Review as the prophet of habit-forming technology. He's also the author of 2 best-selling books, Hooked, How to Build Habit-Forming Technology, and Indistractable, How to Control Your Attention and Choose Your Life. And those are highly reviewed books, and you can see them as well as his blog and more at nearandfar.com. Again, that's NIR and far.com, and I've got it linked in this episode's description. But that's it for today, and I'll be back tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, where your optimal life awaits.